Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today thank you so much for stopping by. In this video we'll be sewing this trendy dress that you can see on your screen. In my last tutorial we drafted out the pattern. In this video we'll be joining our pieces together. In case you've not seen the pattern drafting tutorial, the link will be in the comment section. So we're going to continue with the slash and spread method. This is the fabric I'll be using for the ruffle on the hip area, and it is folded into four. So one side is for the left hip while the other side is for the right hip. Okay, so the other part of the fabric is all folded while the part facing me, one part is folded and it has two open edge. Remember when I transferred my pattern to my fabric, I increased the length of my dress. So I'm going to increase the length of the ruffle by the same measurement, same inches. So I increased it by 9 inches. So I went ahead to rule a straight line across the 9 inches. After doing that, I will start placing my pattern paper on the fabric. So the one in my hand right now is number 6 and I wrote side on it. So this is the side. The side is going to be on fold. So I'm placing my number 6 on the side of the fabric that is on fold. There is no opening there, okay? I'll pin it down. Now you are going to determine how wide you want to spread your fabric, okay? So for me, I'm spreading by 2.5 inches. So I'm taking 2.5 inches apart, and this is because I'm managing my fabric. If you have enough fabric and you want the ruffle to be really full, you can spread by 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, depending on how full you want the ruffle area to be, okay? So for me, I'm just spreading by 2.5 inches. So I'll place number 6. I'll go out by 2.5 inches. I'll place number 5. I'll go out by another 2.5 inches. I'll place number 4. I'll keep placing like that till I get to number 1. So don't forget that the side of the pattern paper where you labeled as side is supposed to be on fold, okay? But the center is not supposed to be on fold. So that is why I had to spread from number 6 to number 1, but you can spread from 1 to 6, okay? So after doing that, I'll be adding half an inch on the upper parts, as you can see, following the same shape that I have. So this half an inch is going to serve as my joining allowance. After doing that, I'll just go ahead and cut off the excess fabric on the upper part like this. So, and I'll split this part open because it's not supposed to be on fold. Then I'll notch the center as you can see me doing, okay? After doing that, I'll remove the pattern paper, okay? So this is what we are going to gather to the side of the dress, and I have two, one for the left and one for the right, okay? So next thing we're going to do now is to cut out facing for the main bodice. So if you have enough fabric, you're going to cut out your facing, extend the facing to the armhole area. Remember, this is a sleeveless dress, sorry, so you have to close up the armhole. But if you don't have enough fabric, you can use your bias tape to just turn the neckline and the armhole area, okay? So I used my fabric as the facing, and after sewing, this is what I have for the front. So for the back, I went ahead to close up the zipper allowance, okay? So what I'll do now is to fix my zipper. You first of all turn your neckline, pipe the neckline first, okay? Then I'll go ahead and fix my zipper to the back. After fixing my zipper, I'll join both front and back together as you can see me doing. I'll pin the shoulders in place. I'll use the half an inch that I left as my stitching allowance to sew the shoulders, and then I'm going to use my stitching allowance to sew the sides. So I didn't take in my darts. I'm going to close up the darts by taking the half an inch, okay? So instead of sewing 1 inch, which is my stitching allowance, I went ahead to make it 1.5 inches, thereby taking in the dart allowance that I left earlier. So after sewing, this is what I have. Next thing we'll do now is to gather the side ruffles. So remember, I notched the center. What I'll do is to open it up as you can see, and I'm going to start pinning from the base, okay? So I'll pin all the way to the waist area, okay? So just follow what I am doing. After pinning upward to the end like this, I'm going to turn it to the other side, and I'll also start pinning from the base, okay? So I'll place them right side facing right side, and I'll go ahead and pin all the way to the end. After pinning, this is what it looks like. So what I'll do is to turn my dress back to the right side. Okay, so before you turn it, you can go ahead and sew this one that we already pinned in place. Okay, so what I'll do is to turn my dress to the right side, and then I'm going to go ahead and gather everything that you can see here to the waist area. Okay, so you can go ahead and run a gather stitch, and then you make sure it fits into this exact space that we have here. As you can see, the space is very small, so all you have to do is to gather everything to fit into that space. Okay, you can pleat, you can gather, it depends on what you want. So you are going to turn your dress back to the wrong side, and you are going to arrange everything in place. So make sure you arrange in place before heading over to your sewing machine to sew. So what I'll do now is to pin the notched part of the fabric. Sorry, I'll pin the notched part, that is the center that I notched earlier, to the side joining, as you can see. So it will be easy for me to gather this part to this side while I gather the other part to the other part. So when you're gathering, you make sure you use your pins to hold everything down, so when you get to your sewing machine, it will be easy for you to stitch down. So after pinning this side, this is what I have. So I'm going to gather this other side also to the other side of the waistline. Okay, so after gathering, I'll use my pins to hold it down, and then I'm going to head over to my sewing machine to sew all the way. Okay, from the base that I pinned down to the waist area, and then to the other side of the base. After sewing one side of the ruffle, this is what it looks like. So you can see what it looks like at the back also. So the next thing we'll do now is to sew the other ruffle. So we'll be doing the same thing, we'll be repeating the same thing that we did for this side. I'm going to bring in the fabric for the ruffle, and I'm going to start pinning from the base. I'll place the fabric right side to the right side of the dress. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and pin from the base all the way to where it stops. Okay, after pinning, I'm going to turn my fabric to the other side, and I'll also start pinning the other side from the base. Okay, so after pinning, you can go ahead and sew the part that you already pinned before doing the gathers. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pin, and then I'll turn my dress to the right side. After turning, I'll go ahead and gather the excess fabric now to the waist area. Okay, so take your time to do that, just like we did for this other side. You can pleat, you can gather, it depends on what you want. So pin them center to center, the center that we notched earlier, pin to the side joining, as you can see me doing. So it's easy for you to gather this ruffle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just arrange everything in place. I'll use my pins to hold it down, and then I'll head over to my sewing machine to sew. After sewing both gathers in place, this is what it looks like. So you can go ahead and give your dress a good press. Okay, so I managed 3 years for this dress. I almost forgot to mention, so I did not have enough fabric to sew a pocket to the dress. So if you have enough fabric to sew your pockets, you are going to sew your pockets at the back. Okay, so in between the ruffle and the main fabric, just where I'm pointing, this is where you're going to sew your pocket to, on the wrong side. Okay, so the pocket is at the back of the dress. Okay, so the last thing I'll do is to hem the base of the dress. I'll go ahead and fold twice, and then I'll sew all the way around. So yeah guys, that is all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Don't forget to like this video, leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.